Welcome to All Abilities Network Podcast. Now, here is your host, bilingual certified life coach, advocate, and the founder of All Abilities Network, Alvaro.
Biped is a mobility device for those who are blind or visually impaired. It's a black harness worn over the shoulders, with cameras on the left, a small computer on the right, and a battery behind the neck. It's a real all-in-one solution that allows you to detect obstacles, follow GPS instructions, and get descriptions of your surroundings using AI. We're now on the shoulders of a user, that's Arthur, who's walking in an open area. Biped detects an obstacle, that's a pedestrian standing on his right. The obstacle was detected by Biped before the cane even touched it. Thanks to 3D sounds, Arthur knows that the obstacle is slightly to his right, and he continues on his way by taking a step to the left. Biped's AI is called Copilot. It understands in real time what's happening around the user with a massive field of view of 170 degrees. The AI can then identify where an obstacle is located, whether the obstacle is a pedestrian or a car, and most importantly, if the obstacle has a risk of collision with the path that the user is taking. We worked with the Research Institute from Honda after getting inspiration from self-driving cars technology. So if that pedestrian who was blocking the way starts to walk faster than you, they will not be detected as an obstacle, as your trajectories have no risk of collision. As Arthur continues on his way, he hears a GPS instruction.
Turn right at 2 o'clock.
Arthur then turns right, and a few meters further, here's a confirmation.
Continue straight.
There seem to be a couple of obstacles ahead. The lower pitch sounds indicate to Arthur that there is a risk of collision with an obstacle located below waist level. For more details, Arthur presses the AI button located on the right side of the harness. Our AI reacts after a few seconds and indicates the following.
You're facing small posts, which separate you from a parking area. A car is parked about 4 meters ahead on your left. The footpath appears to continue on your right and then makes a sharp left turn along the side of the building.
Arthur resumes his path, finds the sidewalk, and after following the wall, identifies a hole on his right. Biped then provides the next GPS instruction.
Turn right at 2 o'clock.
Upon arriving at his destination, Arthur hears.
Your destination is on your right.
And by pressing the AI button again, he gets an even more precise description to find the building's entrance.
You're facing the Alanine Corniche 5 building. The path in front of you is clear, and it seems that the entrance to the building is located opposite, under a courtyard about 10 meters away.
And that's an example of how Biped uses artificial intelligence to offer 3 functionalities in a single device: an obstacle detector, a GPS, and an AI scene descriptor. We have designed Biped as the ideal complement to a white cane or a guide dog. After 3 years of research and development, more than 250 test sessions, and the involvement of hundreds of professionals and testers, we can't wait for you to take Biped on your next adventures.
Wow, this was a great demonstration of Biped. This is a wonderful new device for the blind. And we're going to talk to the co-founder of this company. His name is Marco Trujillo. He's from Mexico. But before I do that, my name is Alvaro. I am your host of All Abilities Network podcast. And well, what can I say? Thank you for listening to our show. And well, after this demonstration, I can only say, Marco, so impressive. You have to tell us all about this powerful device. But before, Can you tell us about who is Marco?
Yeah, Alvaro, thank you for having me here. Sure. So a little bit about me. I have a robotics background, always been passionate about technology, especially assistive technology. So I've been over 10 years working in the space. Um, and I was one of the co-founders and co-inventors of the Sunuban. This is a predecessor, which was another mobility aid in a wristband form factor with an app. So then I joined the biped team approximately over a year ago with the goal of improving their technology and bringing it to the US market. Um, and yeah, I think that kind of summarized my professional background. But I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Okay, so Marco, tell us a little bit about this device. I know from the demonstration it has GPS, it has AI, it has obstacle detection, but
Right.
how would you characterize this for someone who is listening right now? Most of our listeners are in the United States.
Uh-huh.
So, first of all, where can you buy this product or you can try it? How is that working now?
Yeah. So since last year, I've been working extensively on bringing this device to the US market. I believe it's an awesome device. Me being here for many years, I can appreciate what that is being done by Biped is, in my opinion, the right approach to solve the mobility problem. Um, this device is a vest, so it's a wearable. It rests on your shoulders, similar to a backpack. Um, and it has cameras in the front side, like let's say on the left, on near to your to the left side of your chest, and buttons on the other side of your chest in the other strap. So it has like two straps that go over your shoulders, to your left and right side of your neck, and then on the straps you can then at the end of the strap you'll see the cameras, and on the right one the buttons, and in the back side you have the batteries. So it's a wearable device that is uh, using the cameras to see everything around the user. And now these cameras are not, uh, the typical camera. They are depth perception cameras. So they're actually a set of three cameras, a set of 9 cameras to be precise, um, that are looking to the sides and in front of the user, collecting data in real time, assessing the proximity to obstacles, but also figuring out or understanding the environment and providing the user descriptions, alerts of obstacles nearby, and GPS guidance. So it's I like it because I think it's one of the maybe the only device that is taking the approach of resolving the mobility challenge, all the spectrums of the mobility challenges, because this mobility is quite blind mobility is quite complex. It's just not about detecting obstacles. It's also about being oriented all the time. It's also about having the right information at the right moment to make the right decisions. So it's considering all of that. And over the past year, we've been able to sign up with many distribution partners in the US. So we are now have about 10 distributors spread all around the country. So we have coverage in most states. It can be ordered online, or it can be ordered through them. Um, anyway, if you reach out to us, we are gonna redirect you to any of our distribution partners, wherever you're close, and they will be able to provide an in-person demo, or a call, or whatever you need.
Marco, when I was listening carefully with you, this demonstration, I was thinking, okay, so there is a voice that is guiding this person in terms of GPS orientation.
Right.
I want to know more about that GPS system, how it works, how do you set it up, what is the goal of that GPS service or system?
Yeah. So I think first of all, let me say that the name NOAA uh, st-
Yeah.
uh, is actually spelled NOA, which stands for the core features of our product. So it's navigation, obstacles, and AI. NO,
Oh,
NOA.
okay.
So those are the three core features that we are assembling together in this wearable device. Now the navigation aspect that you're talking about. Um, so let me elaborate about how it works. So the device you have this wearable. This wearable is paired to your phone, but it's also paired to headphones. So you're using bone conduction headphones. As you walk,
Okay.
um, the device is going to speak through you through these headphones because they are bone conducting. Your ear is actually open, so you can still hear your surroundings perfectly. Um, and at the same time, hear what the device is telling you. Now, the GPS part, we use a GPS in the phone, and through our app, we are connecting. We are using a couple different GPS engines in the background. So we are using Google Maps and we are using Envive Maps. Envive is a French company that provides accessible maps.
Oh,
Um, the reason why we offer two is well because they work differently in every country. So for example, as you would assume, the French map engine works better in Europe than it works in the US.
right.
So that's why we use Google Maps as well. Now, the experience is different in the sense that even though we use Google Maps in the background, we just get the map information from Google, we get the route information from Google, but the information that we provide to the user is another layer of information that we add to it. So we not only tell the user like the classic or the standard
Yeah.
instruction that Google provide, we add
Yeah.
more information to it. So for example, for 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 people with blindness who are using map navigation, um, the standard information is not enough. It's insufficient. They want to know if they're going in the right direction continuously. So our
Yes.
device is reminding them to continue straight or that they're walking in the right direction. Uh, it's also preparing them to turn. So instead of telling you like turn left right away, the device will tell you prepare to turn left. You're getting near the corner, right?
Right.
So it's preparing you, and when the instruction comes, we don't tell you like turn just like turn left or turn slightly left or turn right. We also mention we use a clockwise system to tell you turn left at uh, 10 o'clock, for
Right.
example, or turn
Right.
left at 11 o'clock.
Right.
So that extra detail is quite relevant, of course, because for people who are sighted, turn left is enough because they can see the path on the left side.
Right.
People who are not, this information is quite valuable. Um, does that solve your answers your question, Alvaro?
But how do you set it up?
Oh
Or
yeah,
yeah.
right. Uh, Synthetic well, is super simple. There's two ways to do it. So first, the classic way, like if you have a new address you've never gone, you can set up the address from the app. It's very straightforward. Like you'll do it with Google Maps. You either search for the address or search for the name of the place if it's available, and then you can start navigation. Uh, the other way to do it uh, is you can set a list of addresses, and right now we support 5 different addresses as your favorite destinations. So let's
Oh,
say your home, um, the school, the church, work office, and you can access those destinations through the device. So the device on the right side, the strap that is on the right side, which you have there, the computer system, but you also have a panel of buttons, and we call this the features panel or the NOAA panel because it's 3 pairs of buttons. Um, so the top pair is dedicated to navigation features, the middle pair is dedicated to obstacle detection features, and the bottom
oh,
pair is dedicated to AI features. So again, we're following the same structure, NOA from top to bottom. So if you want to access those favorites, you'll go to the N uh, buttons, so it's a pair of buttons, and then we have N1 and N2.
okay.
N1 you click this button continuously through go to lists, and this through a list of items, and this is consistent over all the one buttons. And to be more specific, we call it N1 because it has a single bar, so you can actually feel a button with a single bar on it, or there's another button with a double bar on it. That's the N2. So if you click N1, you'll hear the first destination. If you click again the N1, you'll hear the second destination, the third favorite destination. And then you can use the select button, which is on the other side of the same case, to select the destination. Once you select, let's say, your third destination, you want to go to the church, let's say, and
Yeah.
the church is a third option. So you have to click the button 3 times. You'll hear home, you'll hear work, and the third is church. Then you click the select button in the other side of the case, and then the device will start navigation to that place. It will tell you the next it will tell you when it's ready to get to start walking in that direction, when the route is set up, and then you'll start hearing all the instructions. And if at any point in time you want to know more information about your route, like the status, how far are you in the route, how much is left, you can click the N2 button, this double bar button, and it will tell you a full status. So it tells you where you are, how much time is left, and the next instructions, basically.
Marco, how accurate is this GPS in terms of, okay, I put the address of McDonald's maybe in Times Square in New York City. How close to the door of McDonald's I'm going to get? And the question goes to, are you open to maybe working with other GPS systems or applications in the future if they become more accurate? And the other thing I wanted to mention that I think might be very exciting if it works the way I think it might is that because you are adding AI to the picture, I am just guessing, maybe I'm wrong, Marco, but for our listeners, if I am walking using this device and the GPS is saying to me, I don't know, maybe 40 meters away from McDonald's, but also I have the AI saying the door of McDonald's is to your right. Why? Because AI has cameras and is able maybe to detect that door. So I understand that is not the goal of this device. I'm just trying to understand what could be the range of possibilities of this device being so powerful and having so many options to it. So, yeah, well, I have another question, but I will stop now.
Great. No, that's a great question, and I'm happy you bring this up because I mean that's exactly our goal. I mean, our goal is to guide the user from point A to point B and make sure they go through all these transitions. I was talking how difficult it is to move around being blind, and it's difficult because there's a lot of visual elements to it.
Right.
For example, if you want to go, let's say, to any place, it could be the McDonald's you're talking about. It's not just the route, the GPS that will take you there. You probably need to take a bus, and you need to find the bus stop for that. And then once you need to get up in the right bus, then you need to find an empty space where you can sit in the bus. Then you need to know you are in the right stop.
Marco,
Yeah.
sorry, I need to interrupt you because it gets more exciting then. Can you tell us that situation that you just explained to our listeners? Because we all have been there, you know? We all have been there. So if you could take these 3 steps. Number 1, I'm getting to the bus station. Number 2, I need to get into the right bus. And number 3, I need to find an empty space. Go on, please.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are solving, and that's why I say like biped is taking the right approach, because most companies doing mobility devices, they are only solving a part of a problem. They're either trying to solve the obstacle detection part, or they are solving the GPS navigation part, or they're solving the AI vision assistant part, right? But
Right.
we are assembling a device that can solve the three together and in a unified experience. That's what makes this device so unique and so special. So yes, for going back to your question, for example, in this case, so the device, let's say you want to go to this place, you either use the app to set the address, or if you have it stored as a favorite, you start navigation. Then the device gets a route, starts walking the route, but it also knows that there's going to be inflection points in the process, like taking the bus, for example, right? So
Right.
as you're getting closer, and as the device is telling you, like, prepare your, it will tell you like you are getting closer to the bus stop. Then that's where the AI jumps in.
Right.
Right now, at this point, you need to trigger the AI yourself. So you need to click a button,
Okay.
basically. Um, Remember that I told you that the single bar button goes through a list of items.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, so it works the same for the A button. So going back to the structure, you have a pair of buttons for N navigation, a pair of buttons for obstacle, and a pair of buttons for AI. So
Right.
the A1 button, if you click that continuously, it will go through a list of items to search. And within this list is the bus stops. Uh,
Oh,
so if you use the AI, but the A1 button, you click, you'll hear, like, for example, text, open seats, doors, and then you'll hear bus stops. You click you select the bus stops option, and then the device look for, use the wide angle cameras with 100 degree field
oh, wow.
to try to
It will
find
it,
that bus stop.
it will
Uh,
focus on that.
it will focus on that. Yeah,
Oh,
the navigation I mean, it will still work in the background, but now it's working on or is trying to search for this bus stop. Uh,
wow.
this part of the device right now is something we are improving always. But it does require internet connection,
All right.
as
Right.
you would
Right.
imagine.
Yes.
Um,
Of course.
and when we started this integration, it took like about over 10 seconds, like maybe 12 seconds to analyze and come back with a description saying, okay, I found the bus stops is right here. Right now, it takes about 4 seconds. Um, and eventually, as AI improves or technology improves, it's going to be in real time. So
Wow.
right now, you click the button, you search for bus stops, and in 4 seconds, it will come back and tell you, okay, I see a bus stop. Yeah, a bus stop is slightly to your left at 11 o'clock,
Wow.
about 15 feet away. There's people waiting, and there's a bus with a visible number 45, for example.
Wow.
Uh, so if that's your boss, then you can pick that up, or you can keep waiting. When you hear the next boss, you click the same button, and then it look for the boss in the space, and it'll tell you, okay, there's a boss. The number is 32, right? And then once you find the right boss, you get on the bus,
Yes.
how you normally, the same way you normally do it, and
Yeah.
then you get inside, and then you use the same button, the AI, but instead of selecting the bus stop options, you select the open seat option. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
you have it already into the categories, huh?
yeah,
Wow.
it's another category that's available there.
Wow.
And it also search the same open seat can find for benches. So if you're in a restaurant, for
Oh,
example, you can find
wow.
a an open bench where you can see the table where you can sit, basically. So it will tell you, okay, it will tell you the location of the seat that is available if it finds one, and then you just go there and see it. In the background, the GPS will tell you when to stop, and then you can get out. You can keep following the instructions, and once you are near the McDonald's, you'll hear you're getting closer, so you can use the AI to find for doors. Then you'll
Wow.
Again, 4 seconds, it will see the door and tell you where the door is, and then you can complete your destination.
Marco, I wanna understand when you are looking for that empty seat inside the bus,
Right.
uh, the GPS voice or the AI voice will tell you something like you have an open seat, a free seat available to your right in 5 meters, something like that, or it will
Yes.
tell you, okay, but I have a question. I have a question. Listen to this one.
Uh-huh.
um, there's something that sometimes can confuse some blind users, and is that maybe distance, maybe they don't know how to measure distance that well. You know what I'm trying to say? Because
Yes.
if you say 10 meters away, some people say, yeah, so, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, how
um,
much is that really? Uh-huh.
yeah, because some people say, so how much I have to walk, how many steps?
Steps.
So that's one suggestion. And the other thing is, it would be nice, Marco, for our listeners, um, if it would tell you something like this. You have an empty seat 5 steps to your right, and listen to this one, Marco. To the left of the woman that is sitting next to that empty seat. That makes a whole difference, my friend, because sometimes instructions tell you 5 meters to blah blah blah, and you end up sitting on the lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it happens to us. It happens. So
Right.
I think it would be fantastic if you could triangulate, or whatever you call it, that AI would say to you, there is someone, there is someone sitting to your left or to your right of that empty seat. And maybe it's a lady, maybe it's a guy. That could help you out, because you could be saying, okay, so if I'm close to that seat, but maybe I'm anxious because I'm going to a job interview, or maybe I'm gonna do blind dating, right? So
Yeah.
I'm nervous, okay?
Right.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed, maybe. So the information I'm getting through, I'm like, yeah, I kind of understand it. But if you would say there is a guy or a lady in front of that empty seat, or next to that, I would be able to say, hey, brother, I know there is an empty seat around. Can you help me a little bit? Yeah, of course. Come this way. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Or if there is a lady, hey lady, can you, that would make a big difference, my friend. What do you say?
Yeah, great. I mean, the device does something similar to what you say.
Okay,
So it does tell you references. So, for example, yeah, there's a person sitting next to it, or the open
okay,
seat is next to the window, but there's a
okay,
person in the aisle. So
awesome.
it will tell you references that are relevant to finding that seat.
Awesome.
It will also mention if there's more than one available seat. It will mention. It won't mention all of them, but it may mention two or three available options.
Okay,
Um, with references. And the only thing that doesn't really do right now, as you suggested, is telling you the proximity in steps. It tells
okay,
you the proximity in either meters if you are using the metric system, or feet if you are using the imperial system. Um, but the reference are helpful, because yeah, you can get lost with the feet or with the meter indication. But if you know it's there's a person, or that the open seat is behind a person, I mean, at
yeah,
least you have more reference to find
yes.
that open seat. um, so yeah,
Oh,
that will do it. And I also want to say that something quite interesting, and that I also appreciate in the approach of how biped we are developing this, is that um, the device is not exactly guiding you continuously all the time. It
okay,
is it is raising awareness of the information that you may be lacking, like these reference points, like where the open seat is, the distances, but not guiding you to the open seat right away. And I think that's relevant because somehow, or indirectly, better said, the device is helping you develop your own skills. Um, so by having these references, by knowing that the city is, let's say, 4 meters to your right, then you eventually, as you use the device, you will start to get in the habit of understanding distances more clearly. Uh, let's say if you do this exercise 100 times, the next time you hear 10 meters, you exactly know how far is 10 meters now,
Yeah.
because you develop that skill. And that's something I really like about this device compared to other devices that are being promoted or in the market, because they help you, but at the end they could also harm you because they are preventing you from develop the skills that you will need them that in a moment where technology can fail, and it can always fail, as you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, you have a point. And for our listeners, imagine if you don't have this device. Imagine you don't have any technology. Imagine you are in the middle of the street and you ask a stranger, "Hey, I'm looking for the bank." And that person says, "Yeah, it's 10 meters away." And he runs away because he's in a hurry.
Right.
So you are on your own and you are like, 10 meters? What is that? So, yeah, I mean, you need to improve your skills. And I always say this for our listeners, and I know Marco agrees with me, and is that this is like a companion, a great friend for your guide dog or your cane. Is not substituting what you have, and it's super important to understand that it's a partnership that you have between your cane or guide dog and something like this powerful device. But you always need to know your mobility, your orientation stuff. You always need to that, my friends. Always. All right. Another
Exactly.
question comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
This is so exciting, Marco. I have so many, I had some questions written. I'm not using them. I'm just
Awesome.
reacting to you, because this is so exciting. Okay, let's talk because you were saying, okay, I'm on that bus, and you say when it's time to go to your stop because it's time to get off, it's going to tell you how that works, Marco. I know in certain cities like Mexico City, they have some GPS applications that help you get off the bus in the right station, in the right place, but some others don't work that well. How do you work with that? In other words, the person that is riding that bus, how that person makes sure that the information is correct. If they say next stop is Times Square, how accurate is that information, Marco? Or should you listen to the bus um, driver providing the information, although they don't always give you the right information at the right time?
Right. So this is a very tricky one
Yeah,
because, um, as you know, the transportation system works differently in every country and even in every city within
yeah,
a country. So, for example, the company biped, we're based in Switzerland, right? So in Switzerland, we have a partnership with the transportation system over there. So you have a lot more information because we can access the transportation system database. We know when the
Oh,
bus
right.
is going to arrive. We know which stop you are, so we can provide that information. Now, for the rest of the world, we are trying to get there, but it will take us some times to get into every city. So, and not all the cities have a system that we can
Yeah,
access.
yeah.
Uh, so in those cases, that's where the skills comes in. The device can tell you the GPS location you are. Like, okay, you are passing the street, um, or you're getting closer. But it won't tell you like exactly the stops you are. It will tell you like let's say, how much are you been progressing, um,
Okay,
in your route, and then
okay.
you should know like when to start. Getting closer to the exit door, according to all the information you have, the information that's available from the GPS from NOAA, like like the last, like prepare to get out, to prepare to turn right, or that kind of alert
Okay.
that you will get when you're getting closer to the next milestone in your route, or the information that the bus driver is telling you, or that the bus itself is speaking if it has a system inside. Um, then exit the bus. So that's tricky because there's too many different situations.
Right.
In the what we can do, I mean, the only information we can provide is the GPS information that's available. So even, let's say, like, for some reason you are going under a tunnel, then that's even harder because the GPS signal can get lost, and then
Yeah.
the same device won't even know where exactly you are. So in those kinds of situations, you have to rely on the other information that's available.
Okay. Talking about tricky stuff, let me tell you about this tricky question.
Yeah.
um, okay, so let me try to understand. When we talk about AI with visual information, because at the end of the day, we're talking about cameras who are using AI to
Right.
describe what is in front of us, correct?
Hmm.
If we don't know if we need to get off in 2 stops or 3 stops, could we approach the bus window and touching the AI button ask, can you some kind of recalibrate the information based on what you are looking at right now? Because, of course, the camera is going to pick up information. It's going to say, okay, there is a um, Bank of America in front of this bus. Okay, so maybe it can help the GPS getting a better information to you in order for you to say, "Oh, Bank of America, that's right, that is close to the right stop for me. So next time the bus stops, I gotta get off." What do you say about that, Marco?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, you can use the AI, for example, to give a description of your surroundings. So one way to use it is, and we already mentioned this, is going through the list of items or categories
Yeah,
to search
yeah,
and look for that thing. The other way to use it, there's two other ways. So one way is doing a short description of your surroundings, but it's mostly, the short description is mostly focused on whatever is in front of you, so that this is useful when you're walking straight and you want to know more information on what's in your path. If there's something blocking, if there's whatever information. Then the other is the full description, so that will focus not only on what's in front but everything that's around you that's relevant. In this case, so I see two things that you could use. So you can either use the full description,
yeah.
and yeah, position yourself in front of the window, so you can see what's behind the window, or on the other side, and yeah, it will see if it sees any point of interest that could be relevant. It will tell you what it says. Like, for example, yeah, there's a bank. That's that. Oh, there's an establishment that says Bank of America, or with a sign that reads Bank of America, or any if it's visible. You can also search for text, and then if it will be reading
Ah,
what is visible,
okay,
and it can.
okay,
You can
okay.
probably
That's
read
it.
Bank of America. You can probably read a street name if it's like visible.
Right,
But it's
right.
it's always hard because you really don't know if you are aiming in the right direction, if the thing is visible, or if the car is moving. Then it's probably gonna be, I don't know. I mean, it could have a harder time reading stuff, for example. Um, so yeah, that kind of situation is complex. That said, I think it's a matter of also giving time to the AI and to the
Yeah,
technology to improve. I think we are gonna get to a point that um, all the feature that we keep adding and adding, we get to a point that it will solve these kinds of situations seamlessly, without even having to interact as much with the device, because the
Right.
device will eventually understand what the situation is, and what information you're looking for. Um, but right now it is kind of like a manual process in which you need to know which feature to switch. If you need to you need to check the status on the GPS, or if you will go through the AI and try to find a visual cue, for example.
Right, right, right. Now, mm, two things come to mind. Shopping. If I go shopping, is there a way in the future I can focus on finding the chocolate bars?
That's a good one. Um, I mean, if we talk about the future, yes, of course. Talking about the present, though, I have to say that the the NOAA device is highly focused on resolving the mobility aspect. So it's a great assistant, a great companion, like you said, to your kid, to your walks, uh, but it's not a great assistance for shopping. Because if you trigger the AI, and if you are like in a shopping mall,
Yeah.
then it will skip all the like the different products that you may be interested, because it is searching for relevant points of interest, so you can navigate the space
Ah,
comfortably.
yeah. I understand. You never know in the future, my friend. But yeah. Let's keep focused on what we're focused. Yes. Now, if I am in the subway, right?
Uh-huh.
What can it do for me in the subway? Can you close your eyes and imagine that situation? I need to get to the train B in the right platform. The train is coming. Is it empty? Is it too crowded for me to get in? Blah blah blah. What it can do?
Right.
You think?
Yeah, good question. So there's actually a feature that we haven't spoke much about, that is the obstacle detection, and I think this scenario will help us navigate through that feature.
Oh, yeah,
So let's say you're in the subway station, and you need to find um, the train, right? And the
yeah,
door, and the seat inside, and at the same time navigate a crowd, because
yeah,
there's people moving everywhere.
yeah.
Um, so, um, well, so first of all, let's say you get in. What's the first thing you have to do? Like get the ticket, buy the ticket, or you already have it?
No, I
Um,
don't have it.
okay, you don't have it. So you need to find front desk,
Run that
or,
first. Yes.
or the ticket. Yeah. So there's also an item in the list of AI things to search for front desk.
Oh,
Um, so you will have to select that option, hear the instructions, and approach to the front desk. Then let's say you manage to buy your ticket, and the lady tell you, if there's a lady, if it's just a machine, so you probably won't get any information. But you have to go to I don't know, a station B,
yeah.
uh, and get on the bus there, and the train. Sorry. So what you do next? I think what I would do is use, because if it's a completely
Yeah.
unknown space, I'll use the full description, which will
Oh,
describe everything around me. Uh,
oh,
um,
nice, nice.
so you hear about doors, you'll hear about text, and everything that describes it's also going to tell you where it is. So it's going to tell you stuff like, okay, there's a big a narrow, let's say, um, walk space, that goes and it has a sign on top that says, I don't know, train A, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
to your left at let's say 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock. Oh, no, that's to your right, right? to 6 o'clock. Uh,
It will tell you stairs, right?
it will tell you if there's a stairs, if it's an elevator, if there are elevators, where they are
Uh-huh.
located. It will tell you any sign that's visible. It will tell you any doors that visible. Um, Yeah. And with that information, you can probably either find the B station. If it's not, then you have to keep floating. At least you know where things are. You can probably guess. Okay, it's probably on the other side of the stairs. So you go pick up the stairs, get on the other side, then use again the full description, and then in this new place you probably find the B place, right?
Right.
The B station. Now, in the meantime, you have to navigate the crowd.
Yeah.
So for that, you're using the obstacle detection.
Oh.
So the way it works is that you have the headphones, and you will hear 3D audio. You will hear beeps in the space, or if you prefer, you can use clicks in the space. So the beeps here like beep 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 beep, and clicks here is more like, I don't know if that's hearable, like
Little. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they are both are useful and work very similar. It's a matter of preference. In my experience, the beeps are easier to detect. Are very useful to understand the height of the obstacles, but they can be a
Oh,
bit confusing understanding the horizontal location.
oh,
I mean, you can know it's on the left for sure, but maybe you don't know exactly to what angle they are on the left. And the clicks on the other side, they're very clear on the horizontal angle, but they're not as clear on how high or low the obstacle is. Um, so they convey different information, but you can use them. And as you walk the space, if your path ahead is clear, you won't hear anything. But if there's something coming to your left, like a person watching their phone, you'll hear the beeps of this person coming, and you can hear how these beeps are getting every time closer because they go faster. And then if they probably start on the left side, but they are getting closer to your to being in front, so you can actually track the trajectory of people that are getting in your way. Uh,
oh,
the nice part of it, though, is that you won't get overwhelmed compared to other devices because NOAA is using an AI in real time that we actually borrow from Honda and we adapt it to pedestrians. So Honda, the car company that use
oh, the car
yeah,
company. Oh,
the car
wow.
company has an AI to assess the risk of collision,
Wow.
and use that technology for the autonomous driving
Wow.
technology.
Wow.
So, but
Wow.
we borrowed that AI, and we basically adapted to pedestrians. So it's tracking pedestrians all around you, but only if any of these pedestrians has a high probability of colliding with you in the future based on their trajectories and your trajectory, then that's when you get the beeps. Um, in the experience, it's a lot less overwhelming than other devices. And we actually recently I mean like this week, we got a publication from a medical source about a research that we did in which we were comparing traditional electronic travel aids that use ultrasound
Mhm.
to NOAA, and we found out that our device triggers 77% less than the other tools.
Oh, wow.
So you just get relevant information. So you will be walking, then you will hear the beeps, and hear how the person moves around. It could be a person, it could be a wall, and in case if it's a large structure like a wall, the beeps will have an echo to it. So you hear like that will immediately tell you that okay, this thing that I'm hearing is a big wall or something very large. Like it could also be like a van or a big car, for example.
Wow.
Um,
Mm.
so you are just using that information to stop to find another path. If you want to know, let's say you're walking and you hear that beep is in front of you, right in front of you, uh, so instead of keeping walking straight, what you can do is just turn your body like slightly to your left or your right, whatever the direction you're going towards,
Right.
and then you'll hear how the beeps fade out from your front and probably move to your right. that means that the obstacle that was before in front of you is now slightly to your right. Means you have an open path in front.
Yes.
Um, so you need to get used to this. It's not
Yeah,
like it's a new sense.
it's very
Uh,
powerful. Yeah.
yeah, but once you get used to it, and it's not hard. Like
No, yeah.
people pick it up like in minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, they feel comfortable using it in hours, but they actually master it in days, and that depends. It could be over a week. It depends on people, right, and how active and how much you practice with it. But once you feel comfortable with it, it's super powerful because then you don't rely only on your cane to veer, to change direction, to know there's an
yeah,
obstacle. You
yeah.
can use this information in complement to your cane to know how to move around within the space you're in, even though there's
Wow.
people moving obstacles, silent obstacles or whatever. So you will use this additional like sixth sense. Meanwhile, you're trying to find the train station. uh,
Wow.
eh,
Um,
what do you think?
it, no, it's very impressive because I have a lot of imagination from our listeners. So I have been in that bus. I have been in that door of McDonald's already. I have been in that subway. So it's very, very exciting. Okay, battery life.
Battery life. Um, so as I mentioned in the past, Noah, in the back case, so you have like three cases, right? Two
Yeah.
that are front, and then those two have straps that are connected to the case in the back. The case in the back has the battery slot. So the device will last for, let's say, if you are using it with all features turned on, so the maximum drain
Yeah.
of energy, it will last for about 3 hours of
Okay.
maximum continuous use of all the features. So that means you have an active route on the GPS, you're using the obstacle detection all the time, and you're constantly using the AI to find your way or get more information. So that's 3 hours. Average use will last like for a full day, basically. uh, and the device comes with two batteries as well. So if you run out of one battery, you can remove that battery and insert the second one, and then charge the first one while you're using the other one, the second one, right? Um,
Right.
the battery is very easy to remove and to insert because it has like a dock where you can insert the battery, and it has a magnetic connector, so you will
Okay.
really feel like the pull from the magnets, and you will also feel like the click when they are connected, and of course the device will turn on, so you know it's working. um, so yeah, that's how you can do it with the batteries. And by the way, it will take like 3 hours to charge as well, so there are.
Okay. Now, internet connection. When I was talking to one of the CEOs of Envision, I was asking them, when will we don't, I mean, well, we will see a time where internet connection is important, but is not always necessary because of AI technology being able to understand what is around you, whether you have internet or not, is able to distinguish what is in front of you. And they said, yeah, we're going to get there.
Uh-huh.
So what do you say to that, Marco?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I totally agree and second what he said. Right now, the thing is like these models that are good at understanding the surroundings, they require a lot of power. That's why they're based on the cloud. Um, so so that's why we need the internet connection to be able to send them the pictures and get the understanding. um, if we do it on the device, it will be quite limited and slow. That said, like we have prototypes in which we've seen like the AI is responsive to simple things, so it can like for example, differentiate from a person to a chair,
Right.
like there's a bike, there's simple stuff, but it would like explain you all the context of things that's happening in situation. Uh, so it's a bit limited. Um, but the trending will be, like you said, like we go to the edge or the device that all the AI happens in the edge, the same way it's currently happening with the collision, um, the risk of collision assessment, right? The
Right.
obstacle tracking, all that is happening in real time. The device, you don't need internet connection for that to work. Um, so yeah, that's for sure the future, and we're getting closer there. We already have prototypes of things that work, but they are not as reliable as the cloud AI is. So for the moment, we're still using that.
Marco, in when everything becomes real time, when AI becomes real time all the time, because I have to say for our listeners, I
Yeah,
was, by the way, what model of AI do you use, my friend?
yeah. So we're actually using two. We're using models from OpenAI and from Gemini,
Okay.
and we send a request to both,
Yeah.
and whoever answers first, we send that reply to the user.
Okay, because for our listeners, one of the most exciting moments I have lived since I have been blind was when that presentation of OpenAI was showing a British guy hailing a cab in London using real time recognition. That has not happened yet. That was like August, I think it was August last year.
I think so.
But yeah, that has not happened. All the devices that claim they have real time recognition is not happening yet. All the time, all the way, no. And a blind person was trying the meta glasses in real time, was working fine in a way, in other situations not that good. So we have to stay patient about that, my friends, because everybody's excited. We have to stay patient. This is getting there. It's getting there. Now, when it gets there, it's going to be incredible. And I was thinking, this device, Marco, for someone who is in a hurry and he needs to walk fast
Yeah,
compared to other systems, is going to be very exciting to use um, when technology gets even more powerful. And the other thing was, let's say I need to go into a hospital where we have so many obstacles, so many floors, so many blah, blah, blah.
correct.
A device like this can be such an important companion. Like if you go to a Madonna concert or Taylor Swift concert, um, to be more modern, um, the challenges are many. And if you go alone, and that's what I'm thinking, if you go alone anywhere with this device, it's going to solve many things that you needed a person to go with to help you with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Yes.
So
Completely.
that's extremely exciting. And the other thing is, if you are an adventurer, if you like to travel solo, my God, what you can do with this product that it wouldn't be possible before. Um, will ever this product be available where the rain is constant or dust is coming your way? Things like that, my friend.
Yes. Yes. The device works reliably under rain, but I would say like not heavy rain.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Um. So it's water. I always get is waterproof,
waterproof. Yeah,
not water resistance, right? So you cannot get into the pool with it. Uh, it's also good, works
yeah,
well in extreme temperatures, so whether that's very hot or very cold. just a reminder, company is based in Switzerland, so we've tried this.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, Switzerland. Yeah, they know about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, exactly. So we tried this in freezing environments, in a lot of rain. 'Cause so, so yeah, it does work reliably there. Sometimes what could happen, and the limitation of the device is that we are using cameras as a means to get information.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you block the cameras, like with your code or with your hand or with your hair, then the device won't get the information it needs to work
Of
effectively.
course. Of course.
But it will let you know. So it will let you know stuff like that you're blocking the cameras, or that the cameras are poorly aligned. That you need to reposition it because you probably move as you were walking. Um, so it will let you know if it needs if there's something blocking their capability to detect the environment. Um, but I would say that that's the only limitation. It will also be it is very responsive. So we have, for example, guide dog users who tend to be the people that walk the fastest. I would say faster than me for sure,
Right,
because I've
right,
seen
right.
many of them. They run, and it's probably because they just walk fast, or probably because the dogs are pulling them. I don't know.
Yeah,
they, they,
yeah,
they
both
walk
maybe.
fast,
Yeah,
or both.
yeah.
Um, so I've done tests with people who use guide dogs, for example, and it works very well. And by the way, we have a guide dog mode and a white cane mode. So
Uh-huh. I
whenever
didn't know
you
that.
yeah,
Oh,
when you are getting onboarded to the device will through the app, it will ask you several questions, including your height, including your primary aid, including the level of vision you have, and it will calibrate to your needs. So yeah, it works completely different to the guide dog for guide dog users than cane users. In a nutshell, cane users will get more information,
of course. Yeah,
especially beeps,
makes sense.
than guide dog users. In information from closer range, guide dog users will have information from further away. Uh, so
Oh,
guide dog users, basically the function is the guide dogs do a very good job, like
oh yeah,
guiding the person around obstacles. So they don't tend to have this issue with obstacles as much as
true.
cane users do. But sometimes the issue with guide dogs user is that they don't know if the dog is doing the right job. you know. Uh, Sometimes the dog is sniffing, like, I don't know, a
Yeah,
squirrel that shows up, or food, or another
yeah,
dog. So
yeah.
the guide dog user needs to know if the dog behavior is changing because a real reason or not.
Right.
uh, so that's where our device is helpful. Um, it basically anticipate things, so you will hear beeps of obstacles in your way before the dog veers or changes action. So you can anticipate the dog may change direction due to something, and when you trigger the AI, it will also try to see what your dog is doing, what he's facing, and let you know, okay, your dog probably stopped because there's another dog and they're having a dog time.
Right.
Uh, so those kinds of informations will give you if you're a guide dog user.
Marco, correct me if I am wrong. Do you have, I mean, if I understand correctly, you have an application for the mobile phone, is that correct? Or the
Yes,
device has the application in its own, or you set it up on the phone?
you set it up in your phone. Yes,
Okay. It can be paired with an iPhone and Android?
yes, both.
Okay. Now, I have only like two or three questions. It's very interesting. I didn't ask any questions that I had written. So it's just me, myself, and I. Okay. The question I have is it correct that Noah has something on WhatsApp or something like that? Or
Oh yeah, the Noah chat.
what is that?
Yeah, it's a very nice initiative that we took to show our users how our AI works. So it's basically a chat, but you can add Noah's number and start chatting to it in WhatsApp. It's an AI, and then you can send photos or videos to it, and even ask questions in the videos you send. And Noah Chat will reply you with a full an answer to your questions, a description of the pictures, which is basically the same description that we provide to users who are using our device. So it's a way to experience the power of our AI, um, but in a super in a free way, in a cheap way, um, through a smartphone. Of course, you won't be able to experience like the obstacle detection part,
Right, right,
nor the
right.
GPS navigation, but that's at least that's something you can another tool you can use, and it's very accessible to use.
Marco, three questions left. One, anything else we haven't touched on that you want to touch about your company, what you do, and everything?
What I haven't mentioned or what we haven't discussed.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
anything that you say, I need to say it. Yeah.
Maybe a couple of things. Not much because we have spoke about most of it. But I don't know how much we emphasize on this, but one is that we are building the best companion for mobility, whether you're using a cane or a guide dog. So I think we did discuss it. Like it's not a replacement. Our main
Yeah.
goal is to make something that works with your current mobility. We don't have we don't want to do that to replace primary aids. And again, the other which we did mention as well is like we take this courageous step of we want the device and the technology to help you develop your own skills as well.
Right.
So I think that's very different because there's other technologies that want to guide you continuously
Right.
and think for you, and that's okay. We don't have a problem with that. It's just that we want to highlight that our approach is different. Uh, and other things is that maybe that we work closer well with our orientation and mobility specialists. So sometimes it is hard for users to get this device because of the pricing or the situation. So then
Right.
they need to go and seek funding. Then in the process of seeking funds, they need to get the orientation and mobility specialist on board to provide the training to train the person in the use of the device or any O&M skills needed, and to approve the funding or getting any kind of support. So we have a lot of information available for the O&M specialists, for the trainers, as well. So if you already have like an open case, and you're working with an O&M, send them over. Like we are friends. We want to make O&Ms our best friends basically as well. uh, so we have all from training guides to webinars, in even a dedicated app in which they can, while they're training you, or when you are walking with the device and they're following you, they can basically see in the app what the device is telling you through the headphone. So they have let's say a screen where they can see the obstacles that are being tracked, and the ones that are being alerted to you where they are, and the information that is being voiced to you. They
Oh,
also have a screen where they can see the current route and the information that is voiced, the instructions that are being voiced to you, and the moment they happen. And they also have another screen where they can see um, the the AI descriptions that are voiced to you. So it's an app that makes it very transparent for them to know what's happening with the device in real time. Uh, and that only not only works for the O&M, that will work as well for any person who's accompanying you. So if you are getting started and you are don't you're building the trust in the device, you're learning how to use it, you're developing your own skills, you can have a family member go with you on a walk, and the family member will have this app, and be more helpful, be more empathetic, and smart on how to approach this assistance.
Okay, that's very important information. Now, how much research went into deciding to do this device, to build this device? Because it seems that it had to take a lot of time with a lot of professionals, blind people, a lot of assessment, etc. How long it took to get it done?
So I would say like it's a never-ending research. I don't think we have stopped researching and finding new things. We when we came out with the product, I mean, it took us, I think it was like 3 years of R&D to come up with the first version. But when we came to the first version and we put it in the hands of users and O&Ms, I mean, by the way, we we always integrated since the R&D process and since we were doing beta testing. We always designed our device in companionship or with ON or intentional mobility specialists and then users. So since day one, we've been hearing the voice of the users and the voice of the O&Ms. That's why we reached this point where we have something that is good for both. Uh, but even when we launched, we realized there were like problems or issues that arise that we never found out during the research phase. So so we keep doing research. Like I just mentioned that we just recently released this 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 paper in which we compare NOAA um, to traditional electronic travel aids, and then we have 70%, 77%, so basically 80% less triggers than other or traditional devices. So that's a research by itself that took
Right.
some efforts. So I think we're never gonna end researching, and that's I think that makes sense because to be very frank with you, I think the reason why there hasn't been an aid that is massively adopted by the community beyond the white cane and the guide dog is because nobody understands the problem in its vastness. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
there's a very small amount of research we and if we don't continue understanding and doing research, we won't design the right solution. So that's why we keep using this approach to design.
Marco, my last question to you is going to be strange, probably for our listeners. Not strange. No, I mean, no, I mean, how to put this? It's not strange, but usually I ask this first, but because we were listening to the demonstration of the device first, that's why I didn't ask. Are you sighted or blind?
Yeah, yeah. I usually get the question up front. I'm sighted.
Oh, you're sighted.
Yeah.
And what made you be interested in our community in doing these kind of devices like the band and this?
Yeah. I think it's a long story, but I attribute it to two, two things. So one is I've always been passionate about technology. So that's even since I was a child. I always say I wanted to be an inventor. I want to create things that are, and I don't know why, but I always like interested in like wearable stuff, things that you can put on and
Uh-huh.
enhance your capacities, right?
Right.
So that's a childhood passion. Then the other aspect I would say is um, when I was a kid, when I was growing up, my best friend was deaf. He was born deaf. We are both the same age. We were raised together, basically. I used to spend all the time with him. Uh, and so so I mean, I'm talking kids, so he's 5 years old, 6 years old, and
Right.
even up to date, I still get along with him. I see him like every month or two. But when we were kids, we were super close together, to the point that we communicate a lot, and that was he never got like the training to speak the sign language. He
Right. Right.
he didn't learn that. So we when we were kids, we basically created our own sign language, and I was the closest person to him Even his mom used to invite me to his house to be the interpreter between the two of them because she couldn't even communicate as well as I could with him. Uh, and we used to play. Now I say accessible games, but at the time it was just games because we were just kids playing games. We used to do a lot of things together, have long discussions, and I honestly never realized he had a disability because again we were kids, 6 years old, 7 year old, 8 year old, and I realized he had a disability basically until I was. I mean, we both were, I think, 11 or 12 years old, because I got into middle school, but he couldn't get into middle school because he couldn't communicate with anyone. I was the only person he could talk to. In his struggle to get into schools, he attempted to get into different schools, but it was the same problem all the time. He couldn't communicate with the students, with the teachers, and I saw he going through a very difficult time, and I didn't know how to help him. Um, and his mom couldn't do much either. Like she didn't know. I guess we were just super ignorant, and that's the problem with this community. Like just people are so isolated; they don't know there's options are available.
Right.
Uh, and then I found out that there was an official sign language, and the people who are deaf can speak this language. And I found a church where they give sign language lessons for a very cheap price. So I invited him, and we both went there. We both learned the official sign language, and 6 months later, he was able to get into a middle school um,
Wow.
for the deaf, and that was life changing for him, and that was also life changing for me. I still get the shivers when I tell this story because um, he was super grateful. Uh, and I really didn't do much to be honest. Like the solutions were there, were available, but that event triggered my. I think it made two things to me. So first, it triggered my curiosity about disabilities. I realized that if we didn't know the sign language exists and that this community exists, then there should be a lot of other people like him, and I don't
Right.
know him. So I started to volunteer to many other centers for disabilities. People, I met people with cerebral palsy, with deafness, with blindness, with all kinds of disabilities, autism, and I was just doing volunteer work just to satisfy my curiosity and understanding people, and learn how they live, how they explore, how they interact with technology. Um, and the second thing is just when I helped him, he was able to achieve the goal of getting to school, and I also helped him a lot of times after that. Like he about 2 years ago he graduated from in graphic design, and it was massive challenge.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was incredible. But
What's his name?
Saul,
Oh,
Saul,
okay.
yeah,
Okay. So after this, you need to get me in touch with him because I have to tell you about a project.
cool.
Um. So
Yeah. Just to say the last words there. I think it's just not the curiosity, but also the feeling. Just having that experience of making a massive impact in
right,
someone's life,
right.
for me was the most fulfilling thing I ever experienced until that point. Right, and I was a young kid for sure. I have experienced a lot of other things, but there wasn't anything that was as fulfilling as doing a favor of this kind to someone that I loved. Uh, so that's why, like, it was once I was able, like, to do robotics and create my stuff, my own devices. The first 7 things that I built were prototypes for people with disabilities that eventually led me to build this bracelet that I spoke with you before.
Right. Um, so, Marco, this device could help in some way. You will correct me if I'm wrong. To someone who is deaf blind.
Yeah, good question. Unfortunately, not this device because all the feedback is through audio at this point.
But
Uh,
it might in the future, is what I'm saying, because it
Oh
has the
yeah,
potential. It has the potential. I do understand it's not the right fit right now, but it could be. It could definitely be.
yeah, for
Um,
sure. I mean, we've been exploring haptics as a means to convey information. It's
correct.
it's 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 a space that is even more unexplored.
Yes, it
uh,
is. Yes, it
uh,
is.
but yeah, that's we are quite interested in seeing how this could work for people both
Okay.
deaf and blind.
So, final question, my friend. What is your biggest dream with this device and your final thoughts about your information for people getting this device, getting in touch with you, and everything else?
Yeah, well, my dream is is going to be an assistant, a life assistant. Is not just a mobility assistant. Right now, we're focused on mobility because that's the first problem we need to
Yeah,
fix. But I envision this as something super small that can go with you and that you can speak to it and it will describe things. It will help you resolve tasks. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Hair.
of
uh,
course. Of
yeah,
course, I did.
that's an awesome movie. I think
Yes.
this device could end up in being something like that, like an assistant you can talk to, and it will help you with anything you want to do, and not only serve people who live with blindness or low vision, but any kind of disability, and it has an AI that has like an assistant spirit, assistive spirit, like a caregiving spirit. I think we can give that spirit to the device, because here in the company we will share that spirit, um, and the community shares that spirit. The O&M share that spirit. So eventually, as this intelligence has or claims kind of a personality, because right now it's just useful, but it's not personal. I think it will get personal at some point in the future. I'm not talking short term. I'm definitely talking long term, but not sure how long. And
Marco,
uh-huh.
when you say it could help you do tasks, what can you give me an example of what you're dreaming, what it could be able to do in 5 years, 10 years? I don't know.
I mean, it can help you with things like doing the shopping, find the right things for you. Uh, if there's still bills around, it can help you like make sure you're getting the right change. If you purchase something with cash, it can help you cook, keep track of everything that you're doing, help you find the ingredients that you need. Um, all these different use
Oh,
cases
yeah.
like
Wonderful. Wonderful. That sounds exciting to have.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your contact information, my friend.
Yeah, so you can look for us at biped.ai, biped.ai. That's our website. There's a lot of information there. We have a dedicated page if you want to learn more about the experience, um, or there's information for O&Ms as well, a dedicated page for orientation and mobility specialists. And if you want to reach me directly, you can send an email to Marco, Marco, at biped.ai.
Marco, muchas gracias. Great, great guest. Great product. I haven't asked how much it cost, and people may be asking, okay, you need to ask that one. Let's ask that one. Okay, how much?
How much? Yes. So right now, the device in the US, where we're selling it in Europe, but I'll give you the price in dollars, is
Sure.
about $4,990. So it's nearly $5,000 device. It
Okay.
is it is an investment, of course.
Of course. Of
We do
course it
have
is.
we do have plans to make it more convenient for users.
Yeah.
Um, so, for example, we have a plan in which you pay half of the price, so basically $2,490 upfront, and then a $50 payment every month for 4 years. So that's another way to get the device. And like I said, I've been working in the U.S. for several months. I mean, over a year now. We have distribution partners in different states, and we're working with with the government to get this funded to people. So if for example, we're getting it funded through the Veterans Affairs, so for veterans, we can get the device free. Also for people who are in the workforce, the vocational rehab, or who are, let's say, in the latest grades of university, or transitioning from high school to university. All those people qualify for to getting grants from the government. So you just need to reach out to us. We I can connect you, or we can connect you with a partner that can provide a demo for you, and that will provide also available funding options for you in case there's any. If not, well, we have this incentive of half the price and then the subscription. Um, but I didn't mention it, but yeah, the device comes with 2 years of warranty as well, and there's no subscription required after the purchase.
Oh, interesting part. No subscription. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Marco, what an exciting. I mean, it's exciting. It's I was again. It was like watching a movie and participating into the movie, because I got into that bus. I went into that subway. I really felt close to this wonderful technology that you are building. And I say building because it will always be building up that technology to become even more powerful.
Right.
So thank you, Marco. Thank you to the people in Switzerland for what they're doing, in Mexico, because at the end of the day, you are from Mexico, great country as well. And well, what can I say? It's just wonderful to meet people like you and companies that are doing good things for others. And in the meantime, my friend, I have to say goodbye because you're busy and busy, and people have to do other things because they got excited, but they need to now try this kind of technology. So thank you, Marco. Adios.
Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you so much. You put a smile on my face. I really enjoy the podcast as well. I'm happy to come back anytime. Thank you so much, and thank you for your community who's watching. Hope to
Oh,
hear from you.
yes. Thank you. And for our listeners, remember, if you want to be on the show, you can email me at allabilitiesnet@gmail.com. This is Alvaro from All Abilities Network Podcast saying goodbye, and remember to smile always.